Kitty cat, what are you doing? What are you doing? That's my microphone. Okay. In today's video, while some traders are making millions on meme coins, others are already predicting the long, cold bear market to come after this cycle. Also, we have an update with the SEC and Coinbase. Before we get into it, I highly recommend you hit like and subscribe if you don't mind. I certainly appreciate it. And if you want to know what Toby and I are doing with our own cryptocurrencies, what our portfolio is shaping up to be in entering this bull market, you got to check out learningcrypto.com, the new home of the CT Club. We accept crypto payments on that website. And until we get a new payment processor for credit card payments, for those of you who still prefer to transact in fiat, you can join us at patreon.com/cryptotips. A link for both of those options are down below in the video description. So there's one trader that's been getting the attention of everyone on crypto Twitter lately, who basically turned about $40,000 into $4.4 million. There is a really important lesson to be learned here, especially for those of you who have never experienced a bull market in cryptocurrencies before. If this is your first time investing and you're hearing all the stories of the gains that you can make and the profits you can make, let this be a reminder to you. I'm not sure if this trader has actually taken profits yet. Now, there's articles like this one that I'm going to show you right here that are calling it a rags to riches story, turning a $46,000 loss into over $4 million. Number one, this is not the first time he's made millions. He's definitely not a rags origination. And so that's probably also a bit indicative as to why they're not so eager to take profits just yet. Probably, hopefully, because they can't afford to hold and wait and see what this does. Maybe $4.4 million for this particular trader is not life-changing wealth as it would be for many, many, many people around the world. Now, what's happening here is basically you're getting a preview as to what can happen in the bull market when you're seeing profits that maybe you would never have expected to make, especially if it's your first time investing. This can be an eye-opening experience. I really encourage you all to have an investment plan. Write out and figure out your financial goals, what you want to accomplish, what you would like to be able to purchase, what can make your life better. This is how you can turn cryptocurrency profits into real world utility to better your life. Okay, that is the goal here. And the most common emotion that everyone falls victim to is greed. And that's an emotion that comes up when you're seeing profits and you think, oh, but I want a little bit more. Oh, but I want a little bit more. If you have a financial plan, an investment plan, and you have financial goals laid out, take profits accordingly, because the other side of this is the risk of cryptocurrencies, the risk that, number one, you don't take profits when you should, and the price starts to tank. I'm going to read off this tweet from Michael Vandepop on Twitter. He says, ask yourself, if I buy something like Bonk now, what's the upside? And what's the downside? And what are the chances of these two to happen? Then compare that to an altcoin that barely moved, and you'll find out which one is the best of the two. So again, a reminder for anyone too greedy to take profits, and also for those of you who are feeling the FOMO, feeling the greed of chasing a coin, especially like Bonk. That's like, it's gone up over 700% this past month. Within 24 hours, I think it's gone down about 18%, 20%. Nothing goes up forever, okay? But I want this to be kind of like a case study for you, and understanding the kind of mindset that you have to take profits, and the importance it is to stick to your investment plan. That's going to be advice that any seasoned crypto trader is going to tell you. Speaking of crazy bull runs and profits you can make, now we have Bob Lucas on Twitter telling us all what he thinks is going to happen after this bull market is over. He thinks that there could be a very long delay between all-time highs of Bitcoin. He thinks 8 years, possibly 12 years would not be out of the picture for him from Bitcoin's new all-time high that it will set and its next all-time high that it would set in the future. That's what he's saying. Now, I'm curious to see your thoughts on how that would play out with this narrative now of ETFs coming in, of institutional investors, of the world waking up to digital currencies versus the fallacy of the fiat system. Is it possible that it's the reverse? It's a super cycle, but in the reverse, that there would be a especially long bear market. Let me know what you think in the comments. But now let's move on to the news of Coinbase and the SEC. Recently, was it yesterday? It was yesterday's video. I said how the SEC has actually formally announced that they don't think they need to provide any more clarity or transparency for rulemaking in terms of cryptocurrency regulation in the United States. They've said no, affirmative. They've said no officially. So now Coinbase is suing the SEC to get them to create more clear rulemaking and regulations for crypto to survive in the US. And of course, Coinbase is heavily invested in this outcome because they are a US-based cryptocurrency company. And there's a really good tweet here from Patrick McHenry. He says, the SEC Chair Gary Gensler's continued refusal to provide clarity for the digital asset ecosystem is shameful. If the law is clear, which is what Gary is constantly saying, there doesn't need to be more clarity. It's as clear as it can possibly get. Well, he says, Patrick says, if the law is clear in support of his position, why does the SEC keep losing in court? Great point. And I think it's just another piece of evidence of what I was saying again in yesterday's video, that the SEC isn't going to provide any helpful support for cryptocurrencies unless they have to, unless it's been ordered to them by a judge in court. So that's going to wrap it up for today's episode. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. I look forward to reading them, and I'll see you tomorrow.